Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Saturday today. I'm a little early because I have a class at in just over about an hour's time. But I wanted to jump on and share a card with you on a Saturday like I always do. So normally I'm on at 11 o'clock Pacific, but today just a little bit earlier because of my class. So today I'm going to be playing with the Everyday Details bundle. That's my words. That's what the class is. It's my Stamp-a-Stack. So this month it was the Everyday Details bundle that we're making 8 cards for 2 of 4 designs. Next month it's the Ice Cream Swirls bundle. So if you're interested in that, registration hasn't closed for that one yet. And so in the Stamp-a-Stack you get the 8 cards, 2 of 4 designs. And the Ice Cream Swirl is such a fun suite. We're even making a shaker card in that one. So if you haven't signed up, registration's still open. Good morning. Not sure who that is. I can't see. Oh, somebody's at the hairdresser's with the sound off. All right, that works too. All right, so I'm going to switch over. We're going to use some of the Sale-a-Bration items as well. Some of my favorites from Sale-a-Bration, and Sale-a-Bration's coming to an end, so I wanted to use some of those products. All right, so this. Oh, yay, Betty, you got notice. Okay, this is the Everyday Details bundle. I used this the other day, and if you haven't seen this one, I love this bundle. I love the images. I'm going to use the little nest. I love the sentiments and the fact that they've mixed the cursive font and what looks like typewriter font. It's very cool. And then these dies are amazing. So you get some rectangle dies with some dots around them. This one will help cut a frame. I showed that the other day. Oh, hey, Nancy. Hey, Mern. And then you've got 3 of those sizes of rectangles, and then this little one that's great for labels with just little tiny dots. And seems to me there's some more hidden underneath. Yes, there is. There are some circle dies. So I'm using the circle dies today. Again, the ones we'll cut. There we go. Seems to me there's one not here, but anyway, not sure. Oh, yep, there's one here missing. I get my dies in such a mess. I really need to dig out my magnetic sheets for them. So those are the circle dies. You've got these ones that will create great borders. Yeah, you're right, Betty. The holes are a bit of a pain. And then this is a really cool one. I showed this on a card a little while ago. You can make some great kind of designs and borders using this X's. But yeah, these dies are amazing. I do find that if you're better than me at keeping the holes clean, they work better. I find that they start not cutting as well, because of course I don't poke all these little holes out in the dies. Use the brush from the attachment for the Take Your Pick tools with the foam, and it helps a lot. Run them through 2 or 3 times also helps release. So now this was done on this. I'm going to use this today. This is Designer Series paper, and I didn't do anything with this other than run it through a couple of times. Cardstock's a little bit more finicky. So yeah, but running it through a couple of times helps get rid of those dots. And if you don't get rid of them, well, maybe some dots in there are okay. I kind of get to that stage because there's a lot of dots to remove. Okay. Well, the other thing I'm using today is this is the Layered Florals embossing folder. This is so pretty. And so I'm going to use that as a background. So here's what I've got. I'm using Lost Lagoon. So I thought this color combination of Lost Lagoon and Pecan Pie would be really pretty. So I've got a piece. This is 4 1/4 by 11. Catherine? Yeah. Oh, hey, Sandy. Welcome back. So I've 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So we'll just create our use our bone folder always. Okay, and then I cut a piece of the Lost Lagoon, 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I ran it through that gorgeous embossing folder. So I'm going to take some Lost Lagoon ink, and I'm going to do, it is so gorgeous. I find, so I'm going to do a little bit of just kind of sponging on here just to bring out these flowers just a little bit more, because they're so pretty. I love how detailed this embossing folder is. I made a card a little while ago where I showed how you can use some sanding paper or sanding block. It works with the designer series paper because the core is white. I'm not sure it'll work real well with our cardstock because the core isn't white. There is some specialty paper that has a white core that's 12 by 12. But our regular cardstock doesn't have a white core, which makes it amazing to use because you don't get that white showing when you cut. But if you want it, then there is some specialty paper, or use some designer series paper. There we go. All right, just adding a little bit of kind of color. Lost Lagoon. It's my favorite color too, or one of my favorite colors. It's hard to, somebody said this the other day on our stamp camp, that picking a favorite color is like picking a favorite child, which is maybe true. I don't have kids, but I can imagine it's true. All right, I'm just going to wipe that so I don't get any ink on my basic white. Okay, so that will go on like that. And then I cut this piece. This is that large circle using the dies. And so I thought I would just put that on there. Got a little piece of the same pecan pie that's cut 3/4 of an inch by 4 for the inside of my card. But let's do some stamping. Let's see. I'm going to use this. I love this nest. It's just so pretty. The robins seem to be back, so it tells me spring isn't too far off. When the robins start occupying our yard. And the other thing I heard that is a definite sign of spring is, I don't know if they're actual woodpeckers or I think they might be called flickers, but anyway, woodpecker-like birds that start tapping on we have metal poles around here, and so they start tapping on the poles. I don't know that that's very successful for them, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so pecan pie, Lost Lagoon. Oh, and then while I've got my ink out, I'm going to use the sentiment that says, looking for a block that will be long enough. Oh goodness, where is my long block? Okay, I'll use this really big one that says, you make every day a little brighter. So I'm just going to stamp this across in this. You can cut a piece 1/2 inch by whatever that is, 3 or 4 inches, and that will work too. But while we have our ink. Okay, so I pulled out, now I know robin's egg. Oh, flicker, yeah. It's funny to watch. Oh yeah, this, oh that's cool. On the die, they used it on the die or on the, oh, cool. The actual die, Betty. I'll have to look for that. Okay, so this is light pecan pie. And I'm just going to color just kind of giving my nest a little bit of color. Not really. I'm not blending. I want some color. I could have used crumb cake too. Like that. All right, and then I'm going to use the dark Lost Lagoon just to give my, Now, the one thing I know, there are no dies to cut out these images, so this is a bit of fussy cutting. But I really like the look of when it's fussy cut out and you can kind of set it on that circle. Makes it look like it's framed. There we go. All right, now I know that these aren't robin's eggs, and I know that Lost Lagoon isn't. Oh, on the cardstock. Oh, yes. Oh, cool. Yes, that would be cool. So I know robin's eggs are kind of bluer. Boho blue works really well for that. But I'm just going to put a little bit of Lost Lagoon on my eggs. And then if I can find it, I'm just going to take some Winkostella. There's a lot of Winkostella in that. But I'm just going to color my eggs using Winkostella. Just to give them a little bit of shimmer. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, I think a little bit of shimmer on those eggs. Okay. So now we can pull that. I'm going to let that dry just a minute or so, and let's get the rest of our card. This is the bordered ribbon in Lost Lagoon, but so I thought this would look kind of pretty. So I'm just going to take and wrap this around. I'm going to cut about, I don't know, estimate. My scissors definitely need to be cleaned. They got gunk all over them. So this is probably about 12 inches or 14 inches of ribbon. Trying not to jip myself. Still might have jipped myself. I'm going to tie a little bow. And as always, I turn my cardstock upside down so that I can control where those tails are going. I still haven't found my tweezers. I was looking for them the other day on a live, and I need to figure out where they are. They're probably in this little bin that I have, but I don't see them. What's the name of the ribbon? This is called bordered ribbon. It's the Lost Lagoon bordered ribbon. It's in the annual catalog. It is 1/4 of an inch wide, and it's lovely to tie with. It is looking to see if it is polyester. Almost has a cotton feel to it, but it is polyester. But it's really pretty. I love the fact that we have some Lost Lagoon. All right, so again, if I'd used my tweezers, I might have got that a little bit more, a little tighter. I make this a little bit smaller. I just really want a little tiny bow. And so I'm going to take and pull out my trusty glue dots. And I'm going to put a glue dot behind, and I'm going to cinch it. Glue dot stuck. Okay, there we go. Nope, it does not want to stick to the paper. There we go. All right, maybe I'll put 2. And so I'm just going to cinch it in because I didn't get it very tight. Like that. And that just kind of pulls it in a little bit. And then I can even put a glue dot underneath my ribbon just to control where those tails go. Like that. Get it in the right spot. Like I said, I want just a little bow because I've got this really big, and even with that, I haven't quite got it in the right spot, my bow. So let's try to, of course, I've got it cinched in at the back, so we'll just kind of pull that over a little bit. There. Okay, now I've got just room for my circle. Probably best not to adhere it until you've got your circle and stuff in the right spot. There we go. Just kind of twisting it around, and then I can cinch it in again. Okay, now I'm going to use Stamp and Seal. Usually I like to use liquid glue when I've got an embossed piece of cardstock, but because I've got ribbon on this the back, I like Stamp and Seal, and I kind of put it over top of the ribbon. Helps to hold it in place. May trim that off a little bit more, but we'll start with that. I probably can't trim it any more than it is. Okay, so now I'm going to just take and put my pecan pie circle on, and I'm going to use dimensionals. Thanks, Nancy. There we go. Okay. All right. So now my Wink of Stella has probably dried. I said this before, I find it takes a little while to dry. Now you could probably, I haven't tried this because there are different size circles, so you could probably find a circle that fits that this nest fits in, but I'm just going to quickly cut it out. Just following the edge around. Yeah, it wouldn't be one of my cards probably if it didn't have some fussy cutting on it. Following, steering with the paper, not the scissors. I watched, I think it was Melissa Faust. If you've ever seen Melissa, she does a lot of Instagram reels. She's a demonstrator from the US, and it was fun to watch her fussy cut on a reel, because it actually goes much faster than I'm going because it's speeded up. But you can definitely see her steering with the paper. It was very cool. All right. So we're just going to put that on like that, and we will use dimensionals for this as well. And then I'm going to pull out the gorgeous Flight and Airy Designer Series paper, which I think goes so well with this bundle. Kind of perfect. There we go. Ooh, very pretty. Okay, so then this is the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. I've got little bits that I've saved because there are some pieces. So this is free during Sale-a-Bration. So if you don't have some of this, oh gosh, it's so pretty. I've got a few. I think I've got a couple of packages open here because this was the paper that's in the, look at this Lost Lagoon one. Oh my gosh, but I want a little bird that is a bit of kind of the greeny color. Most of these are blue. Isn't this pretty paper? So this was the #1 selling Sale-a-Bration item at one point. I don't know if it still is, but it is just so pretty. Trying to find my birds in. I think most of these, oh, look at these ones. These are too big, but look at these ones. They're so pretty. They look like they're watercolored, and they probably were. I'll bet that this artist at Stampin' Up who created this actually hand painted these birds. There's some little ones again. Too much blue. All right, I might have to go with what I've got, but there we go. That's the gorgeous paper. Let's see if I can find a little bird that has got some. That one's got some Lost Lagoon. So I'm just cutting him out because, feel like I have to have a bird on the nest. I think this particular paper with all these birds on the vines, with the leaves, I think I've cut more out individually like that than I have actually used this paper. I've used the back of that paper. See, I'm not even throwing all these scraps out because there's little birds. I can cut out little birds. All right, there we go. I think I'm just going to put one little bird on my nest. It's got a little bit of, I wish it had a little bit more of the Lost Lagoon, but it's got a little bit of Lost Lagoon on him. Her. I guess guarding the nest, it's a her. All right, like that. They are so cute. Okay, and then I'm going to just take this and cut it. I'm going to probably cut this into little bits, separate the words. And then I can make them different widths and change them up. You guys kind of go, oh my gosh, she's fussy cutting again. Yeah, it's a fussy cutting kind of day. And I'm not really worried too much how straight those are. Okay, now I've said this before, I like to use the adhesive strips, and so that's what these are. I cut them into smaller strips because they're way too long to handle, so I kind of cut them into about thirds. One, it's perfect for the back of these really tiny little pieces of sentiment that I often end up using. If you don't have these adhesive foam sheets, just cut a strip off, particularly the mini dimensionals. There's quite a wide border on these mini dimensionals, and so you can take and cut just little strips off of the edges of them and use for popping up. They are higher than the dimensionals, so you will want to use, if you've got something like this where you're using you know, a bunch of words together or multiples, you do want to probably use all of this. Like don't switch between this and then dimensionals for part of it, because the height is different and it might bother you if like it bothers me. All right, so you make is the first words. I don't want to cover up my you make. I'm not pressing that down really hard because I'm not sure exactly where these words are going to go, but we'll see. You make every day a little, oops. Let's see, it's showing. Let's cut that off. There we go. A little brighter. Come on, fingers. You can do it today. For some reason. There we go. All right. There we go. Now, the last thing I pulled out, these are the opaque faceted gems. They come, so these again are part of the Sale-a-Bration, so you can get them for free during Sale-a-Bration. They come in pecan pie, pool party, and I've used this pinky color with both Calypso Coral and Petal Pink. I'm not sure exactly what color it really is, but I'm going to use the pecan pie ones on my card because I think it just needs kind of a contrast to the Lost Lagoon, even the pool party ones. So again, these opaque faceted gems are free during Sale-a-Bration. Okay, so one last piece. I've got a piece of basic white that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I cut a scrap of designer series paper that is 3/4 of an inch by 4. And this will go on the inside of my card. All right. Pretty card, I think. So if you haven't looked at this, oh gosh, that's not very straight. There we go. If you haven't looked at the Everyday Details bundle, or at least those amazing Everyday Details dies, you really need to, because they are, I love them. I just can't stop using them. And if you haven't got your hands on some of this, some of these Sale-a-Bration items, whether it's these opaque faceted gems or this gorgeous designer series paper, time's running out. So it's the 17th of February today. You have 12 days left. Can you believe it? We're over halfway through February. You have an extra day this year because it's leap year, but we are coming to the end of February fairly quickly. So don't miss out, because it is so, so pretty. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, I will be live tomorrow at my regular time, so that's 12 noon. So come join me and we'll make another card together. Hope you have a good day, and if you can spend time in your craft room, that would be just a bonus. All right, everybody, happy stamping. Bye.